I just want to give you my take on what's going on with Prog. So I bought 100 shares, and I didn't get in at a good price. I got in at $5.30 something cents, and I'm using Prog really as information. I'm going to use it to study and to learn. The only thing that I see that I'm really interested in is the 500,000 options that are expiring in the money that could create a gamma squeeze, or most likely will create a gamma squeeze, and it could be happening right now as I'm filming this video for all I know. Or it's going to happen possibly by Friday. And will that trigger a short squeeze? This is my worry, okay? Because you have the new investor, you have the ape. The ape comes along and they try to push back against the hedge funds, right? And when they push back against the hedge funds, they think they're pushing back enough to create either margin calls, create a short squeeze, to create the hedge fund to have to cover their short positions, and all of a sudden you have an explosion on a stock, right? It goes nuclear. Doesn't go parabolic, it goes nuclear, right? That's what we're all hoping for, AMC. Here's the problem that I see lately though, is the apes are alerting the hedge funds to what they're doing, and they're taking out what I believe to be the most important factor of a short squeeze, and that is the element of surprise. They're taking away the element of surprise. And when you take that factor out, you know what you do? You're giving the hedge funds now enough time to set up plan B, to take every tool in their arsenal, put together a strategy, and now use it against us, so they don't have to cover, or so they can prolong the cover. Not necessarily avoid it, but prolong it, as you're seeing with AMC, because you have an aggressive short hedge fund like Citadel. They are probably the most aggressive, the most bold. They refuse to throw in the towel. So what are they going to do? They're going to prolong it, and they're going to create pain and agony within the ape group, within the ape army. They're not going to just throw the towel in. And I believe, so we have the new apes, okay, that are in the hood fighting back, but you now have a new hedge fund that's being designed to fight us even harder. At the end of the day, we're a one-directional investor, okay? The retail investor is a one-directional investor. We don't have many tools to fight back, but these hedge funds, they have multiple. They even have illegal ways to manipulate the stock to get what they want. They can get in cahoots with multiple hedge funds to fight back, to short, to do short ladder attacks, to get that dollar down to where they need it to be, to where there aren't going to be margin calls. There isn't going to be possibly a gamma squeeze. You see what I'm saying? They can manipulate it to where they need it to be for as long as they possibly need it to be, to allow it to cool off. I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example. I believe when you give them enough time and a heads up and you take away the element of surprise, it doesn't necessarily go as planned. You might get an increase in some momentum on the stock, but that's not a short squeeze. Momentum is not going to just be enough for a short squeeze to happen. So what am I really in Prog for? I'm in Prog for the gamma squeeze and to learn. That's why I invested in Prog, and I didn't go like gangbuster. I threw a few $100 on it just so I can learn what's happening with all these different stocks that appear to have short squeeze potential. But when you give them enough time, do you get what you want, or do they get what they freaking want? The element of surprise, man. I believe that's the most important factor that nobody's talking about, all right? Nobody's talking about, you know, you come out of nowhere, a bunch of investors hop on one stock, it's all done discreetly. You then have something like a gamma squeeze that coincides with the retail investors that just slammed the FOMO onto a stock, and you don't have enough time for the broker to chat with the hedge fund to create a plan B. They just margin call Volkswagen, for an example, they just margin call without there ever having enough time for a plan B strategy to be placed in front of the retail investor. Okay, so I think we need to talk about that. That's the key element. So, all right, everybody, if you've got your money in, man, I hope the best for y'all, and I hope it does short squeeze, because I'm going to be taking notes. I'm writing this shit down and I'm learning, all right, on all the key elements that create the short squeeze. Y'all have an awesome freaking day. I'm off to the gym. Doge Warrior out, baby. Shaboom! Peace!